All right. Well, we're about to go on to chapter 8 of the book of Hebrews. So we're making our way through the 13 chapters that make up this book. I pray that you're finding this encouraging, edifying, and equipping as I am. Before we go on to that, I just wanted to survey the ground we've been over. So I know that earlier I went through an overview at chapter 7, but I want to reinforce that before I go on into chapter 8. We've talked in chapter 7 about the better order of priesthood that Jesus has, and we've talked about that in terms of the order of Melchizedek, the Melchizedekian priest. And in this chapter, there are 6 things that set Jesus' priesthood apart and shows that it's better, that we've gone over. He's a royal priest. He's both king and priest. He has a superior priesthood. We talked about that in verses 4 through 10. He's effectual, verses 11 through 19. Unchangeable in verses 20 to 22. An eternal priesthood in 23 to 25. And a unique priesthood in verses 26 to 28. Now, as we move on to chapter 8, we're going to be talking about Jesus' better covenant. He has a better covenant. So first he had a better order of priesthood. Now he administers a better covenant. So let's take a look at chapter 8. Only 13 verses. And again, I'm going to give you an overview right now. And then next time we'll get into each section that I'll discuss here. But what the writer is doing is he's continuing to show the readers and show us as well the excellency of Jesus' priesthood and ministry. Said the excellency of his priesthood, now we're going to be looking at aspects of his ministry. So here in chapter 8, the focus shifts to a new and better law or covenant that's coming in with the eternal priesthood. Remember, when there's a change in priest, there's also a change in law. So we've talked about the change in priest. Now we're going to talk about that legal change, that law change. He's going to make 3 claims in Hebrews 8 that we'll look at over the next several days. One claim is in Hebrews 8, verses 1 and 2. So these first verses here, he's got a better sanctuary. It's heavenly, not earthly. And it's a divinely provided tabernacle, not a tabernacle or sanctuary, he says here. True tabernacle was set up by men. So it's divinely provided. That's where Jesus serves. Then in chapters 3 through 5, we're going to look at a better sacrifice, an eternal sacrifice. It's not the shadow of heavenly things, but the reality of what those heavenly things pointed to. And finally, in 6 and then through 13, through the end of the chapter, we see he's a better mediator. He's a better mediator because he has a better covenant. That covenant has been promised by God, and a covenant, that has the power to transform, a covenant with the power to transform. So the writer here is really hammering home the point that Jesus is better in every way than the Mosaic and Levitical dispensation. He's superior. He brings all that to a conclusion. The author's he's doing more than trying to provide us with a convincing argument. He wants us to have total confidence in Jesus, total confidence that Jesus is, in fact, the only way to God. The old ways are being sunsetted. They're moving on. It's not that there was something wrong with them. It's not that they were evil, but it's time to move on. That's why he exhorted us in 5:11 to 6:20 to continue to grow. It's so important to grow in our faith, grow in our understanding. So as we think about how this applies to ourselves, one of the things that comes to mind is at this point in the book, we find ourselves being continually challenged to check ourselves out. Are we relying on Jesus? Is he the only way? Do we really believe that? Have we put, in some cases, the cart, good works, before the horse, Jesus, if I can use that somewhat blasphemous analogy? Are we depending on him and nothing else? We can think about this as we reflect on it, perhaps journaling or just in your prayer time. Are you confident that Jesus is all you need? Are you sure of that? Are you depending on Jesus and Jesus alone? Again, I said last time, don't look to your faithfulness in prayer. Don't look for your faithfulness in Bible study. Don't look for your faithfulness in church going. All those things are important, but they are fruit and not the root. The root is in Christ. Is that what you're depending on? Is it his ministry for us and not what we can do for him? That's the key to our salvation, to our life and ungodliness. Are you sure of that? Are you sure of that? I hope by the end of chapter 10, you will be sure of that, because that's the point that the author's making, and that's what I'm trying to emphasize. I pray, brothers and sisters, that you have the root and not merely the fruit, but that you are producing a fruit from a root that's healthy and growing. So God bless you, and God bless us in our study of Hebrews as we go into chapter 8 and learn about the better covenant that Jesus has and that he administers, that new law. God bless you.